Hello, Fraz. It's interesting the number of participants right now quite low. I guess we
Okay.
should wait for one more minute.
Yeah, I guess we should.
Let's see. Let's wait for more people to join till 35 or sorry, not 35, like 7:05. I guess it's 7 p.m. there, right? So 5 मिनट और वेट करते हैं. Okay, so I think we've waited for 5 minutes. I guess people will keep joining eventually, but I think we can start our session. Junaid, just confirm you can possibly start recording the session. Uh, if people join later, they can follow the recording. Just let me know when you start the recording. Okay. So hello, welcome everyone to a session on how to do masters abroad, and especially with a particular focus on Erasmus Mundus scholarships in Europe. And for us today, the speakers that we have, the first speaker would be Priyanshu Pathak. He is a 2024 Jamia BTech Electronics pass out, and he's almost completed his first year now for his masters in Era. He's doing his master's with Erasmus Mundus program at KU Leuven and TU Dresden, if I'm not wrong. And he he will basically give you a perspective from an electronics engineering perspective for how you can get to this master's program. And the second speaker that we have is Mohammad Faraz. He passed out from 2025 from computer engineering from Jamia, and he is also an Erasmus Mundus scholar in the communication and data science program in Spain, and also he might do some of his in Germany as well. They will give you an idea about what Erasmus Mundus program is. And I will have some requests from the audience that during the session, it would be nice if you guys could put up your questions in the comment section of Google Meet itself, and do not interrupt the session with any. If you have questions, just put it up in the comment box there. And towards the end, we will have a Q&A session. We can get into the details of the questions that you guys might have. So I would ask Priyanshu to start the session by sharing his screen, and hopefully you guys will have something fruitful to take home. Thank you.
Yeah, let me just share my screen. All right. Hello, everyone. I am Nanshu, and Abbas gave pretty much a good intro about me. Nothing to add here. So, am I audible, right?
Yep, you're audible and your screen is visible too.
Oh, just a sec. So, this today I will give you intro about the Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters program, which is held in Europe. So we will discuss the intro about this program and what's the ideal timeline for the application. And then I will give you some basic tips on application and SOP tips. And then at last I will share about my program. So yeah, this is pretty much my intro. I did my BTech thesis under Professor Intikar. There was this project, and then I presented this project at a conference, and my GPA was around 9, which was due to the old grading system. And yeah, COVID also helped me. I was lucky in that. And yeah, there was like no internship, just I did some summer trainings here and there. So if you did not bagged any internship till now, you don't have to worry. Like there is still hope, and you can apply anywhere. And then I applied to one master's program, EMJM program, and this was it called EM Nano around in January, and in April you will get your results. So yeah, intro about the program. It's a fully funded by EU. So they will cover your tuition, your monthly stipend, they'll cover your visa, travel insurance. You don't have to worry about anything. So, and it's a 2-year master's program, which will be in more than one country. So you will have plenty of opportunities to travel and see, I mean, most of the Europe, I guess. And it's fully taught in English, and it's a pretty international batch. Like, it's not like only Chinese and Indian students. You will see like there's people from different backgrounds, different countries studying. And yeah, in EMJM, you can apply up to 3 programs. And we bear in mind there's no common portal for every program. You have to apply, like each program has a separate site, so you have to go and apply separately for each program. And self-funded is also possible. Like if you want, yeah, if you if you did not get a scholarship, they will ask you, do you want to continue with your masters without any funding? So yeah, if you have money and if you want to experience the Erasmus program, so yeah, you can go for self-funding too. And this is a link to the catalog. Here you can see the list of all the programs. Wait, let me just turn on a laser. Yeah. So you can see list of all the programs there listed. And yeah, there is a search box too. So I would recommend you to go through all the programs by like scrolling physically and not just search electronics and CS, because like you won't find all the programs. I mean, the search algorithm is not the best there. So yeah, I would recommend to you like physically scroll the whole site, the whole list, and see what you like. And so this is the ideal timeline. During August and September, you can, this is the ideal. So you don't have to like strictly follow it. And so yeah, I mean, it's up to you end of the day. So around your August and September, get your SOP, LOR, CV, transcript, and give your IELTS. And October to Jan is generally when these program application window opens. Some opens till January, some closes at December, and most of the program, like this is the uh, application window, I would say. And around April, you will get your results, and around September, you will start your classes. And yeah, I mean, it's doable if you start now. I applied on the last day of for my program, and yeah, I was writing SOP till the last day, and yeah, but I won't recommend it. But yeah, you don't have to be discouraged. Like I don't have any time. Don't stress too much. And so tips, I would say people like many students do what they do, they copy paste a single SOP to every program. So I would say tailor your SOP specific to the program intensely, not just like just change the country or change the program name. Like you have to tailor it very specifically. And yeah, in your SOP, show your interest in research and working with the faculty. You have to research about the faculty, what are they doing. I will tell more on that later. And you have to tell them what you did during your 4 years bachelor's, like what projects, internship you were doing, and tell them your future plans, like what you're going to do during your masters, what you're going to do after your masters. And I would highly recommend to choose the fully funded option. So in application, what they do at the last, they would ask you like if you want to apply for scholarship or do the self-funded option. So I would highly recommend you don't be like if I choose the scholarship, there would be high competition. I might not get in, so I would choose the self-funded. No, you just apply for the fully funded program, fully funded scholarship, and then if you are not selected for the scholarship, they would automatically uh, ask you like, do you want to go for self-funded or not? So yeah, and yeah, this goes without saying. You can connect to the alumni which was admitted to the program, LinkedIn, and ask them specific question, like program specific question, and try to not use ChatGPT too much. But yeah, it helps if you want to improve the structure of the SOP and maybe see if you did any grammatical mistakes, and try to be honest in your SOP and CV, because last round is an interview, and they would they would know like whether you lied or not. So yeah, be honest in your SOP and CV. So SOP, try to keep it less than 2 pages. And yeah, I mean GPA is not the main factor, but yeah, high GPA too helps. It too helps. Higher the GPA, the better. I would say keep it above 8, your GPA. And yeah, and go to the professor that can write you a good and thorough LOR. Like don't see like the professor rank does not matter too much. Like don't stress on like I would get a LOR from the HOD and it would be more impactful. No, the content in the LOR matters. Like it has to be like around 3 paragraphs, and it should say what you did, what you learned, and how good are you at the job. And these are some SOP tips that I scraped from here and there, from a little research from the internet, and these were the notes which I made during my application. So yeah, my rule of thumb was SOP has to be below 1,000 words. My SOP was around 900 words, and I structured it in 5 paragraphs. These are like 100, 200, 300 words, and so on. In first paragraph, you give a little intro about yourself and why you're choosing the program, not into details, but why you're choosing this specific program. Like one line or two about your future goals, what you're gonna do during and after masters, and what's the profession you wanna pursue. Don't have to be like, uh, yeah, it's flexible. And in second paragraph, 200 words, you would tell you about your initial years of BTech. Like mine was COVID, so I told them I did some these online courses, and I learned this from this course, and yeah, some online competition if you have, so on. And in this paragraph, you can also tell them about the relevant coursework and the competition, internship, or a small project which you did during your initial years. And then in the third paragraph, a little more on your projects. Like you have these seminar and minor major projects in JMI, right? So yeah, you tell them the details, what you learned, what tools you used, what the results you got, what you gained, and if you presented in anywhere like conference or whatever, you would mention that, and how the project uh, works, and what did you learn from it. And then maybe where was I? Yeah, and how the project and skill acquired will help with your future aspirations. Yeah. On the fourth paragraph, you tell them maybe a little small project in a different field. Like if you are electronic student, maybe you venture around some image processing or the CS part. If, I mean, yeah, you can mention that. And maybe then, yeah, then you mention how your interest aligns with the university, and details about the professor in that university. You have to research like what are the different faculties, what are the different professors, what these professors are working on, and what are the different labs, research group which you want to join. So you have to be like intensely stalk the professor on Google Scholars, see what are their works, and try to connect your work with his work, and yeah, just show your interest working, and do a little research about the university, as I said. And at the last, you just add a personal touch to the SOP, like your interests, your hobbies, you want to travel Europe, etc. And yeah, why you want the admit and uni program. Yeah, you can praise the university, the country a little bit, just some buttering up, and then you conclude. So this was my major SOP tip, and there are some little tips uh, like which mistake beginners do. So I would like to mention them. Like you have to be clear to the point. No need to involve any fancy English. It has to be well structured, easy to read, which is where you can take help of ChatGPT, I would say, to structure the SOP well. And yeah, this I already mentioned. And don't include any childhood stories like I'm applying to this electronics program because when I was little, I opened the fridge and I was fascinated by the electronics. No, no, no funny stories, no epiphanies. Just be clear and try to avoid mentioning any hello world type projects, which is very common. Like, yeah, I made this website. Um, yeah, I designed the front end of this website. So what? Everyone does that. So yeah, it has to be something unique to you and maybe to the world. All right. So, and don't go overboard with projects. I guess one or two is enough. If you go overboard with projects, you would miss out other essential info about yourself, and make a flow. The transition between the paragraphs should be smooth and it should be like a story. And at last, you check for grammar and plagiarism. So, following the trend of the last session, I would also like to tell you about my program. So, it's called EMM Nano. It's about masters in nanoscience and nanotechnology. And the deadline and I mentioned 30 Jan. You can check the website for more info and maybe if they change the deadline or not. Last year it was this. There are around 40 students in our batch, and everyone comes from different backgrounds, different countries, and like different backgrounds, I mean, from material science, electronics, biotech, chemistry. So first year we are in Leuven for the first year, Belgium, and second year we go to these four cities depending on the track, like what you choose. So if you like mine is where is it? Where is it? Electronics, yeah. So mine is electronics. So I'm here in TU Dresden. So yeah, whichever specialization you choose, you go to that university, right? People from quantum computing are in Chalmers, Sweden. So yeah, that's how they diverge the track. And yeah, it's the good thing about this program is if you want to explore other streams. So I have many friends who came from nanoelectronics background, but now they are going for biophysics. Yeah, I'm not kidding. Like these people do exist. Like in first year, they took some bio programs. Like there are some compulsory bio programs too, but they took some bio programs. They were so interested, and now they are switching their fields and they can integrate the electronics and biophysics part. And yeah, and many people from electronics also switch to quantum engineering. They We have this compulsory quantum physics program. So yeah, if you get interested in that, you can switch your stream. So in your SOP, you have to clearly mention which track you are taking, like nanoelectronics. So you mention your choice and that I'm taking nanoelectronics, but later you can change it. Like it's very flexible. After you get admitted to the program, you can change your track. And yeah, most people go for the PhD after this program. So yeah, and there are these compulsory courses which you have to take during your first year: material science, nanochemistry, nanobio, and quantum physics. So yeah, you have to be careful with these subjects. They are quite intense and yeah, quite tough. And some of them are really hard to pass. Like I still have nightmares from this subject. So yeah. So I found these other electronics related since I have electronics background. So yeah, now for my fellow electronics juniors, these are one I found in the website in the catalog. So yeah, embedded intelligence, nano system engineering, microwave electronics. If you want to explore photonics, and yeah, if you are interested in working in EV industries, this can also be considered. So yeah, after you get your offer, research about your country well, about the rules, the culture, and yeah, just be respectful to others and represent your country well. Thank you. See you in Europe, maybe.
All right. Thank you so much, Priyanshu, for that amazing slides. I guess it's high time now that we can move to Faraz. You might want to share your screen. and give your part of your presentation?
Yes, sure. Just a moment. Is my screen visible?
Yep, it's visible.
Okay, so first of all, thanks to Priyanshu for the detailed breakdown on SOPs and about Erasmus Mundus. I will keep my part broad. That is a quick tour of master's opportunities across different countries like USA, Canada, Germany, France, what they offer, and a simple approach to shortlist and apply. So, here we start. Okay, so first of all, I'm Faraz, and I have just started my Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters in Communication and Data Science in Barcelona, Spain, with UPC as my home university for the first year. Here's a little more about me, and here are some of the programs I got selected in. So let's start with that why we want to pursue a master's abroad. Uh, First of all, a master's abroad gives you access to labs and research ecosystems that accelerate your learning far beyond what a single classroom can do. And you build a global network of classmates and faculties who actually reply to your emails and later become collaborators, referees, or employers. You usually find better funding pathways like assistantships, scholarships, and various fee waivers if you in case you plan early and target programs wisely. You grow personally by living in a new culture, solving small daily problems on your own, and learning to communicate across backgrounds and different accents. And yes, flexibility and attendance, that's a very big point for me. I don't know about you guys. I am not a big fan of attending classes. Okay, so where you can apply, you can apply to various different countries. For example, USA for MS or PhD programs, they have various GARA and TA positions available. You can also apply to Canada, Germany. Germany has a strong network of public unis that are often tuition free and various DAT funded tracks. And you can also apply to France. It also offers scholarships like EFL and Charpak. You can apply to Hungary. It has this major scholarship called Stipendium Hungaricum. I don't know if you guys have heard the name. And obviously, there is Erasmus Mundus, which Priyanshu just gave you detailing about. And you can also apply to EIT programs. It also comes under European Union. There are various scholarships and industry-focused curriculum, which are like comes under the category of EIT Global, Digital and Energy both. And you can also consider the Gulf and like Saudi Arabia or UAE. There are various different kind of great universities. I would say they are investing a lot in their education. So today I will only focus on places where I was selected or applied, but there are many other good options as well, like Sweden, Singapore, Qatar, Taiwan, and UK. So first of all, let us talk about USA. My recommended approach in the USA is to submit a strong application through the department portal and then email professors only where you work, only where your work clearly aligns with their current projects. What most of the guys do, they try to do the cold emailing first, then they apply to the department. Usually, the professors might appreciate your seriousness more if you have applied to the department portal already and then you are emailing them. And when you do email a professor, keep it short, state your alignment in one sentence, like attach or link one or two relevant works, make one clear ask such a short call or the possibility of joining their lab, and remember to use your student email ID while you do this. Don't do with your regular Gmail account. And you should keep searching for labs and openings or department pages that aligns with your work interest. And especially the LinkedIn postings, they help a lot. I personally myself applied email to many professors who posted their like open slots in their labs through LinkedIn, and they usually reply because they are interested. That's the reason that they posted on LinkedIn. So follow pages on LinkedIn or people who advertise or repost these kind of posts regularly. And funding pathways in the USA typically include graduate assistantships, research assistantships, or TA positions. And these often come with tuition fee waivers and good stipends. And these are the main documents required in USA. GRE, I would say, is the only additional document other than other common documents. So if you are planning to uh, do your master's or PhD in USA, you should like be prepared for GRE and look for a timeline when you can study and give it the GRE to your full and best potential. So now let's talk about Canada. In Canada, you can apply directly to a master's or PhD program and then contact a potential supervisor with a concise, tailored email once your application is in their system. The same as US, I would say. And if you are a second year or third year student, then I would say that MITEX is a valuable stepping stone because it can demonstrate research credibility in the Canadian context and lead you to like global opportunities with the same host if you do your work honestly in the MITEX internship. And so the application process is quite similar with the US. You need to apply through university portals. There are some of the MITEX scholarship as well, but they are only available to the person who have done MITEX internship in their past. And the documents are the same: SOPs, LOR, CV, transcript, and English proficiency certificate. Okay, now let's talk about Germany. Germany offers various Datenbank tracks and high quality public universities that often charge no tuition fee, which makes it one of the most cost effective choice for engineering and computer science as well. So first, there is that which requires more than 2 years of professional experience, post-bachelor professional experience, and there are many public universities that offer tuition-free curriculums. So for Indian students, this is the exact pathway that the process usually starts with the APS certificate for academic verification, like you get in contact with the German embassy in India, and then you follow through your application by submitting applications through UniAssist portal, which is like for most of the German public universities. Then you shortlist your programs. I think you can shortlist up to 5 programs. I don't exactly remember, but that's the way how it works. And yeah, one more thing, German committees read your motivation or your SOPs very carefully. So be precise about your fit with the curriculum, the labs, and the skills you bring. So the main advantage of the Germany is low cost, combined with a strong engineering ecosystem, excellent labs, and excellent job opportunity as well if you are industry focused, and yeah, an excellent research opportunities as well. So now let's talk about Hungary. So Stipendium Hungaricum is a government scholarship that generally covers full tuition, a monthly stipend, health insurance, and some level of housing support, depending on the program and the city. So the procedure is that you apply through the Tempus Foundation portals and then rank your programs. You can choose up to 2 programs and then rank them. There are some very good QS globally good ranked Hungarian universities you can choose, and there are many good programs available. I guess you will find your relevant background there because there is a variety to choose from. And then the universities, after you submit your application through the Tempus Foundation portal, then the universities evaluate your application and release results through the official process. Even if you are not selected for the scholarship, you will still get the email that such and such university is still interested in your application. You can get in touch with the university separately. You might get another university funding. So I would say Hungary is a great value option with many English taught programs, and of course it is a great pathway into European research groups. So it works well as a strong backup or even a first choice, depending on your fit. Okay, so now let's talk about France. In France, you typically route applications through the this portal, Itudes in France, Campus France portal, where you upload your documents, then select programs, and then complete the Campus France interview. So it's pretty similar like Germany. You have to, so this is just a way to get your evaluation like evaluated, your application evaluated by the French embassy in India, and get your documents like checked if they are genuine. And let's talk about the FL scholarship first. So for the FL scholarship, students do not need, first of all, this is the like the main misconception about the FL scholarship. Students do not need to apply directly to the this scholarship. Instead, the university nominates you, which means you should apply to a program that actually participates in FL and write to them early about your interest after submitting your application. So FL timelines are earlier than many students expect because internal university deadlines often fall in November or December, and the public deadline is intended for universities, not students. Like for me, like the last year, the case was the FL deadline was something like January 15. So I was waiting for January 15 to apply to FL scholarship because the case with me is I usually operate through the deadlines. Deadlines give me motivation to do my work. They make me productive, but I wouldn't recommend the same for everyone unless you can work it out. So the FL deadline is very different. You have to first get in touch through the university. They shortlist their application, then they send your application on your behalf to the French government or whoever the association that take cares of the scholarship. So the deadline is for them. University deadlines are around 26 November, some are in this December. So you have to get your application shortlisted by the university because universities can only choose only one student per program. So, and you have to be very skeptical about the programs you are mailing. First, you have to check if they offer scholarship, FL scholarship or not. So this is the amount of FL scholarship, and it also provides other benefits. And okay, so that's all about FL, I guess. We can talk about Charpak scholarship now. For the France Excellence Charpak Master Scholarship, you first wait for your admission. Like you have to apply through Itudes in France, that is Campus France portal. You can select up to 7 universities there. Then the sooner you apply, the better it would be because then you will have an admit. Because for the FL scholarship, it works quite like that. I don't know if you are familiar with the Dadwise way. So you first wait for your admission and then apply through the Charpak scholarship portal. You cannot apply unless you have a invitation letter or admission letter from a university. So the deadline for Charpak scholarship is usually around towards the end of the February. For me, I guess it was around 26 February. And the application includes 3 essays, and the reviewers want your authentic tone. So I would say please avoid any AI generated writing and focus on your real motivation and experiences. And the Charpak scholarship is also quite generous as well. It's 800 euros per month. Okay, so why France? France is a great choice if you want national skill scholarships and strong research groups, and of course, Paris and other French cities and their own pull in terms of culture and opportunities. And France, yeah, France also provides a rent subsidy. So, like, you can get 50% off to your rent by the government. And there are some various, very, very great opportunities in Gulf as well. Like there are many others apart from these three, but since I only applied to these three, I will be only talking about these. So Kaust in Saudi Arabia is a fully funded option where the standard route is the online portal. And then to get your application noticed, you can also send a brief alignment email to a potential professor or a host if they can help you in like getting you selected in the lab. Then there is K4PM. It is also quite competitive and well funded, and you apply directly through the portal while making sure that your SOPs, LORs, and transcripts are neat and consistent. So there is also one another great option, MVZ UAI. Since the name has AI in its name, so it's specifically for computer science students. And the good thing is it offers a very generous stipend of about 18,000 dirhams. So it's around more than 1,60,000 rupees in Indian currency. And the procedure is that you first apply through the portal, then you have to like do an online test of 40 marks as per the application process, and it is part of your evaluation, that online test. So some of the students, what they do, they usually waive off the exam. You have also that option that you can waive off the exam if your application is already too strong. But I guess it's always better that you give the exam. It's not that hard. It covers like general mathematics and general coding, so it's quite doable. So now let's talk about the elephant in the room, the Erasmus Mundus program. So this is the catalog link of the Erasmus Mundus program, and as Priyanshu mentioned, that the process to to find your correct program is not to search, because their search algorithm is pretty bad. You have to scroll through your programs, like scroll through the list of the programs and see if the program has alignment to your background and the work or research experience you have. So you have to check the eligibility of the requirement of the programs. If you fulfill those eligibility, then I would recommend that you should apply, because most of the programs, the names doesn't look quite familiar to our background, but still they have like our degree as an eligibility. So I think you should go for those programs as well if you have time, obviously. So Erasmus Mundus typically provides around 1,400 euro per month as a stipend, and it covers tuition, insurance, and travel, and allows you to study across 2 to 3 European universities during the degree. For me, my first year is in Spain, and for the second year, I have choices between Germany, Finland, Portugal, and France. So now, since many of the Erasmus programs are interdisciplinary, so you should target those where you can clearly show both your past experience and future goals. I mean, I just recommend you to show your experience in both the fields the program is advertising. Like if there's a program, just like Priyanshu bhai mentioned, a program called IPSRS. I was selected in that program. So the program is Intelligent Photonics for Security, Sustainability, and Reliability. It has computer science as their eligibility as well. But for a computer science student, if he just reads the name of the program, then it might sound quite unfamiliar. I don't think he would even they would even click the link of the program to check. But I recommend, even if you think there is just a little alignment about the program, you should click on the link and try to navigate through your past experiences, that which one aligns the most. Then tailor your CVs, SOPs, and other relevant documents accordingly to the program. Like if you are a great football player, then you wouldn't advise it in your cricket application. So I would say that don't advertise your different kind of skills in a program that is very way far apart from your skills. Just try to focus on only those skills, even if they are not that good enough, but you should only focus on those skills primarily that align with the program. And yes, you should choose quality over quantity. And I know I just said that you should apply to the programs in which you are eligible, but you should only apply to those if you can find enough time. So quality is always a better option. That is, you should choose 3 to 6 programs where your fit is genuine, instead of applying to 20 programs with generic materials. Like I just want you to make your application very personalized and precise, instead of applying to different programs with the same application, because it doesn't work that way. You have to tailor your application and keep improving like through every program. It's a process. It's not an overnight thing. Like you have your applications get refined by each iteration. Whenever you apply to a new program, you feel that you have upgraded. There is an upgrade you can feel literally. And one most important thing, if you're applying to Erasmus programs or any other European university or association, you should make a Europass CV because it does matter. Don't apply with your general CV, and tailor your motivation line by line according to the curriculum and learning outcomes of the program you are applying to. And since now many of the Erasmus programs ask for a short motivation video, so you should script and record this video well before the deadline rather than attempting it on the last day, because the video usually takes time. Most of the programs I applied to, like 80% of them required motivational video. So I would recommend you to be prepared of this video. And okay, here's a quick, I would say, overview of my journey. Like, I'm not advertising myself, it is just to let you guys know that you can also follow the same path. Like, I don't know, it might come in fruitful for you. So, in my third semester in December 2022, I initiated my first research project with Professor Saif Ali in Jamia Millia Islamia, and I got my first paper published in my fourth semester in March 2023. This was an individual paper. It was based on an internship. Okay, so in June 2023, in the same fourth semester, I won third prize in a paper presentation in CSIR CRRI while I was competing with the masters and PhD students. So this internship was very fruitful for me, as it gave me an opportunity to bag an internship at CSIR itself, which is a very prestigious government research institution in India. So in my transition of fourth to fifth semester, I was doing summer research internship in the summer of 2023, and in the September of 2023, I applied to be an international delegate for IEEE Global Conference in Malaysia. And fortunately, I got selected, and I was the sole Indian candidate representing India in Malaysia. And it was in my first semester. And then in November 2023, I presented my paper, which I was working with Saif sir in DTU Delhi, and we got awarded in my fifth semester. And in this timeline, in this basically September to November period of 2023, I was applying for international internships like MyTax, Tadwise, and some other Switzerland opportunities as well. Then in February to March of 2024, I got various admits. I got admit from MyTax, and I got an invitation letter from Germany and two invitation letter from two different host professors in Switzerland. It was in my sixth semester, and in March 2024, I presented the same research paper at IIIT Delhi, which I was working with Saif sir in my sixth semester. Uh, in this timeline, June to August, I did my MyTech research internship in Canada at Western University. And after coming back from Canada in my seventh semester, my basically I was focused on my master's application. So now this is the stage when you need to stop working on research papers or any other materials. I mean, you can work if you think that you can get them submitted or published before the deadlines of the program. But the better choice is that you should start tailoring your application at least at this time. You should not be focused on your current to upgrade your experiences. Like what you have done till now, it's good. You should just go with that. And in the March and May of this year, I received many global admits, Alhamdulillah. And then I started my Erasmus journey here in Godes, and the cycle starts again at my first semester again. So these are some of the documents you would need. You know about transcript. Just make sure to get your transcript from university in proper timeline. And letter of recommendation, I would request you guys to request letter of recommendation from your professors like well before time. I mean, don't expect them to like give you an LOR like in a day at the last day of the program. I mean, if you aren't serious enough yourself about your program, then don't expect your professors to be. And a tailored statement of purpose, like write it in your own words and try to make it as genuine, authentic, and give it a personal touch. And make a clean CV and that highlights the relevant projects. And for the EU, you should use the Europass format or the specific format that the program asks, because some of the programs have specific guidelines about CV, that you need to have a two-page CV or a one-page CV, or some of the programs, some of the restaurant program even provide a template, like their own template, that you have to make your CV in this specific template. So I did that as well. So you need to get your passport sorted and your English proficiency certificate, IELTS and other documents. If you haven't like given IELTS yet, then I think this might be the right last perfect time you should get done with it. And you should also look for application fee waivers by attending program info sessions, because some of the programs regularly advertise their like curriculum through LinkedIn, and they have various like fee waiver options available. If you email them and say just you can't afford it, then you might get some fee waiver, or may, who knows, like you get the whole fee gone off your application. So here are some tips for selection shortlisting. First of all, you should choose programs that exactly match your profile and your goals, instead of following the hype that this program is more famous, because a good fit makes everything. SOPs, interviews, and outcomes, everything. It makes everything much easier. And you should personalize every application and avoid copy pasting the same content, because reviewers can tell that the same context and the same text is being used everywhere. And you should read the curriculum line by line, so you can name courses, labs, and learning outcomes of the programs in your CV, which shows that you have did your homework about the program. And yes, you should schedule your IELTS or GRE at the right time. And you should build relationships with your faculty through small projects, events, and polite emails, like because trust grows from real work and real conversation. And remember again to use your student email ID if you email them. And you should give your motivation letter proper time. Write it in your own words, because authenticity is the only way to stand out in a pile of similar profiles. Because most of the guys, what they do, that they try to frame their motivation letter overnight, which is true, everyone does that, but you have to keep refining it like day by day. So you need to prepare the first draft well before the deadline, so you can make it perfect by the time you are submitting your application. And you should request LORs well before the deadline. You should tailor your CV to each program and follow the exact format or page limit as they specify, just like I mentioned earlier. And you should respect time limits for motivation videos and recordedly, and you should respect the word limit for motivation letters as well. Like some of the programs have limits like 800 words, some has 1000 words, and some of the programs even like mention directly that you can like tailor your motivation letter up to one page. So they don't mention anything about font. If you think your motivation letter is a little longer than one page, then you can play with the font to make it fit into the one page content. And some of the programs even give us the liberty for a two-page motivation letter. Okay, so let's talk about some common myths and mistakes. This will be the last section, I guess, second last. So first of all, yes, many people think that high CGPA is essential. I won't lie that yes, it's true, but you don't need a 9.5 CGPA to get in, because a strong story, relevant skills, and a focused portfolio outweigh a single number. And it is not always too expensive, because scholarships, assistantships, and fee waivers exist in almost every geography if you plan and target early, and if you are serious enough. And you should not wait until final year to start, because the groundwork, projects, essays, and relationships take months and pays off later. And you should not let an AI model write your SOP, because reviewers can detect generic writing, and the whole point is to hear your voice and your reasoning, not what an LLM might think about you. So this is the last section, hopefully. So first of all, I added this section so just you guys know that what you need to do at this very moment. You don't need to think like very far ahead of you. If you are a first year student, then sorry, you should explore tools, join clubs, and try different domains. And if you are attending this session today, then I will already assume that you are serious enough about the path. And if you are a second year student, then you should keep your GPA healthy, because now you have the liberty to work on your GPA. And possibly and preferably start a research paper with a good professor and target a summer research internship at an IIT or any other public institute. And if you are a third year student, you should apply for research internships with the goal of securing an international internship for the next summer. So you should begin shortlisting masters and Erasmus programs now. And if you are a final student or you are a graduate, you should execute by finishing SOPs, submitting applications, preparing for interviews, and making funding decisions based on fit and feasibility. So, in a nutshell, you should focus on small, consistent goals instead of staring at the end of the road, because progress comes from weekly wins more than one big step. So, I think that's all. So, if you have any questions, just drop it in the comment box.
All right. Thank you so much, Raj, for such a great presentation and with such a detailed advice. Maybe you can keep the screen shared. I'd really
Oh,
like
okay.
slide if you like doing the Q&A session because the video will keep. There's a lot of recording that is still going on. I would really recommend whatever guys you have any questions, you can put them in the comment box and we can start taking up the questions from there. I think for the first question, Imad had asked, and I'll reiterate the question because the session is being recorded. So for the audience that later watches these on video can understand what the question was. So Imad asked, I'm pursuing a bachelor's in mechanical engineering with a minor in computer science and planning for a master's in CS abroad. I'm not much into research yet, but exploring the field. Since the major isn't in CS, how difficult would it be to get into a good university, and what should my action plan be? So Faraz or Priyanshu, I think Faraz can maybe answer because you're in computer science.
Yes, yes, sure. I would definitely like to answer the question. Okay, so if you are mechanical background, then I would say that it's more easier for you to pursue a funded master's abroad, because to be honest, computer science field is getting very competitive at the moment. And I have seen like more mechanical and civil masters and PhD opportunities on LinkedIn than my field itself, which is computer science.
Just
So
to
if you are,
just to clarify, I think he is actually trying for a master's in CS.
oh, okay, so can you please repeat the question, because I cannot read it because my slide is
Ah,
just
I see.
Q&A frozen. Yes.
I see. I mean, so let me just repeat it. So I'm pursuing a bachelor's in mechanical engineering, and he's doing a minor in computer science, and he wants to pursue a master's in CS abroad, but he doesn't have a lot has a lot of research in CS, and he's exploring the field. And his question is basically because his major is not CS, how difficult would it be to get into a good university? And what should he do about it?
Okay, so there are many US universities you can apply to. Like I have seen people who are from electrical engineering background from AMU, and they were shortlisted for USA with funded GA opportunity in computer science masters. So I think you should look for tier 2 or tier 3 US universities. There are some you can look for like Ohio State University, or there are many universities. I think you can target US or Canada. And actually, there are many labs or professors of mechanical engineering as well. Even I remember in Canada when I was doing my tech internship, many of the like professors of mechanical and civil and various other backgrounds are trying to integrate their curriculum with CS. In fact, the lab I worked in, the professor did her bachelor's and master's in civil engineering, and she eventually, like, not exactly switched to computer science, but she was working in a collaboration of civil and computer engineering. So if you are targeting for interdisciplinary domain with computer science and mechanical engineering, then it is a very great option. The key step would be to look for mechanical engineering labs at different universities, then I am pretty sure that you will definitely find a professor who is also has some like work background and who is very interested in collaborating or integrating his work with computer science. So the thing that you need to do is to find the right fit, then try to apply. Like, just don't apply blindly to any program. You just need to research a little bit, and I'm very, 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 very sure that you will definitely find a program that has a good intersection between mechanical and computer science.
I can add on this about Germany or maybe Europe in general. Like
Sure, sure, sure.
if you want to do what's his name, Imad, right? So if you
Hmm.
want to do pure masters in computer science, I don't think it's possible, to be honest. But you can search for programs like which integrates mechanical and computer, like maybe automation and AI manufacturing or
Hmm.
robotics or whatever. And you can then after you get admit to the program, you can just only take the CS related course and not so many mechanical related course. So yeah, you do have to study your mechanical engineering bachelor's. You have to perform well. You have to get a good CGPA, and yeah, you have to continue on doing projects so you can apply and get an admit. And yeah, you can just freely choose your course, and you are here. So yeah, if you want to do pure computer science, it's not possible according to me. Might be somewhere, I
I
don't know.
think I agree that in Europe, or especially in Germany, like most masters in computer science requires that you fulfill certain credit requirements in your bachelor's, and if you don't have a strong bachelor's in computer science, you will just not be eligible for most masters in computer science program. I think the better strategy, as far as and Priyanshu have said, that you need to look for probably an intersection masters in combination of mechanical engineering and computer science. And I think automation engineering, as Priyanshu said, or self-driving, and there are a lot of these niche intersections that you can probably stand out much better than, 'cause let's say, compared to a standard mechanical engineering student and a CS student. So yeah, you should use this as an advantage and not take it as a disadvantage for you that you are at the intersection of both these fields. But yeah, I guess we have a lot more questions and we can move on. I hope that was useful to you, Imad. Junaid asked a general question about masters. How much independence is there in the selection of your master's topic? Like, is it professor's choice or is there freedom? I mean, I guess Priyansh, you want to talk about it because Faraz has just started his masters.
Not fully sure what this what he's trying to ask, but if he's trying to apply for a master's, like a research-based master's, if I'm
I
not
guess
wrong,
maybe Junaid, if you can maybe ask your question yourself,
yeah.
or if not, we can maybe circle back to this question
Okay,
later.
so like I will answer it anyways. How much independence there on selection of a master? I mean, I guess he means master thesis topic. So yeah, it's pretty much flexible. You can apply for a project. Like I can tell you the culture here in Germany. You can apply for a project. Also, it depends on supervisor too. But yeah, uh, it depends on the project. You can apply, and then you can talk with the professor. Like I want to diverge in this field. I want to research on this thing more, and you can just yeah. It's pretty much flexible, I would say.
And yeah, I would also say that these are some things that you can possibly worry about when you get into your masters, but you have a lot of freedom in terms of I mean, it really just depends on your professor's interest, whether what kind of project you are pitching for your master's thesis, if it aligns with that. And but yeah, there is a lot of wiggle room. But I guess that is something that how to do a good master's.
Yeah,
That's
generally university have more freedom than industry-based thesis. So yeah.
Yeah, so it depends on the master's program as well. So let's move on to further questions. Ammar asked, how did you manage your CGPA while doing the internships abroad? I guess this is directly to Faraz.
Okay, so first of all, it's not that difficult to manage your CGPA. I mean, You just need to attend classes, I guess, and be prepared for the exams before the time of the examination. Like if you, it's not that difficult to manage internships and CGPA because if you are already prepared enough for the exam, like I would say that during the examinations, never like do anything else. Like don't focus on your research paper or any internship work. If you have examinations going on, then you should fully focus on that. And apart from that, I think that the only key is if you start preparing from the examinations well before the examinations, then you can be prepared. And to be honest, it also depends on your grading system and your professors that how good grades or how like lenient marking or tough marking they usually do. So the only thing that is under your control, which is on your part, I would say to like get familiar of the subject before the examinations. Like what I used to do, I used to watch YouTube videos. Usually used to prepare at the last moment of the exams, but I would say that you can watch YouTube videos or whatever you feel comfortable with like reading the chapter or presentation slides. You can just go through them before the exam and be prepared. Just don't look too far ahead and just focus on your current examination. Suppose you have sessional one, that you don't need to prepare for sessional two. Just be prepared. At least just try to start study for the programs at least for the exams at least 1 week before them. Then I think it's quite enough. Like you don't need to dedicate more time than that. Just a 1 week before the examinations is well enough. Like it's more than enough. So the rest of the time you can focus on internships, and 1 week before the examination and during the examinations you should solely focus on your like tests and examinations.
Okay. So moving on to the further questions. So Arthur Javed asked a very interesting question, like how do you get NOC for a 3 month internship of an internship which is not during summer vacation? Because JAMI only gives NOC for 2 months summer vacation, and yeah, basically it's hard to get an NOC during winter. I mean, how did you do this for us for your 3 month my tax internship?
It was actually in summer, so it wasn't really a problem for me. At my time, Professor Bashir Alam was the head of the department.
Mm-hmm.
So I just told him that I have an internship, and he was quite reluctant at first that it includes August as a month as well. Then I said that it is needed for the university, and I tried to convince him. I mean, they are not that like harsh or rude that they will not sign an NOC if it's in summer, obviously. Like I was just missing out on 1 month. I guess it was August. So he agreed. I mean, if you convince them enough, then I don't think this should be an issue.
Yeah, and also, if I'm not wrong, Arthur, they've changed the policy that you can also take NPTEL courses in your seventh semester, or at least you can spend a whole semester doing an internship, which I am not familiar with anyone who's done that yet, but I believe they've given this possibility to spend a whole semester as an internship. But yeah, I really can't help on that front. But during winters, it's very hard to get NOC. For this, I guess. If I'm not wrong, Dave did his internship during winter. I guess he's not here today. I guess Dave is actually in the chat. Maybe you can comment on how did he get his MWEC NOC?
Okay, so I was not in a situation to get an NOC, but yes, attendance was a crucial thing. So here comes your relations with your professors and the head of the department. I had to struggle a lot, but things worked out for me. My attendance was zero for the first month, but things turned out well. Like during
So
that
you did.
semester,
So you didn't
sorry.
take an NOC for your KAUST winter training program.
No, no, I did not. Like there was no such
Okay,
requirement,
I
but
see.
yes, attendance is a big thing. So you have to manage it with your professors. It can be managed.
I see. Okay. I guess Zed has a question.
No, I actually don't have a question. I just wanted to add something to it. The NOC thing, as Debaya said, it depends on the relation you have with your supervisor. So mine was also the case. Like already have 1 month of zero attendance. Like when the attendance list came, it was written zero at my name. So then I went to the HOD and then talked to them, and they said, yeah, it will be fine because you already talked with us before going. So it's like it really depends on the relation you have. So इतने rude नहीं होते वो लोग दे देते हैं if you get selected.
Hmm. Okay. Well, I hope that answered your question. And Ashra had a question of, do preprints on archive or student symposium papers carry any weight for master's admissions? Faraz, do you have any say on this?
Sorry, what exactly is the question? That research paper like carry a
Like preprints
significant
on
weight?
archive or student symposiums papers?
Oh, yes, they do carry weight in our application. I mean, I myself ha had some paper that were under review. So what I did personally was that I mentioned those paper under the publication section. First, I mentioned the title of the paper. Then like within bracket, or you can just say directly that title of the paper under review in such and such journal. And just to make it more authentic, if your paper is under review, then obviously you must have received an email that we have received your submission under such and such journal. So I would recommend you to download the PDF of that email and attach a link, upload it on Google Drive, make the access public, and then attach that link to your paper title so that it sounds genuine. Or you can even attach the preprint of your paper. Like if you submit a paper to a journal, then you get a preprint which has a watermark of the journal, like Elsevier or any other journal. Like they will have they will have what their watermark on whole of the paper. So it just like authenticates that you have submitted your paper along with the email. So you can just do that, and yes, it definitely counts because it shows you have done some research. And more importantly, you can also mention about this research work in the research experiences as well, because to get to this point that you have submitted a paper, you must have done a quite a lot of research work. So you should mention that in the research work as well, and try to get it mentioned by your professor whose LOR you are asking. So it also authenticates your research paper. So the key is to get your documents and the things you are mentioning in your CV authenticated. And for that, there are various like ways to do that. And I mentioned some of them, like mention the link of the Gmail or mention the preprint of the paper and get those LOR mentioned, get those paper mentioned in your LORs as well. I myself did all of the things all together to get my like research paper or any other extracurricular thing I was mentioning so that it sounds genuine. I hope it clears it out.
Yeah, that's a very good answer, I would say. All right, I hope that helped Ashra. And now moving on to Tuba. Tuba has a question. Which prompts do you recommend working with on a research paper from the ECE department of Jamia? So I guess Priyanshu can take that up and maybe Dave can add to it later.
Okay, so firstly, it depends on your interest, which field are you interested in working on, and if you are open to anything, then I would say if you are interested in simulation side of devices, then you can go for. I mean, I worked with him, Professor Intikab. He's a chill professor, I would say, and he's very active in recommending papers and journals, and then upcoming conferences, and what else? What else? Maybe Professor Manuddin, if you are interested in what he works on. Dave, do you know what? I
Yeah,
forgot.
his research area is optical fiber communication and
Yeah.
wireless.
Okay, so yeah, photonic side of things, and who else are still there? Yeah, these two I have on top of mind. Maybe uh, what's the professor name? Dave? The lab adjacent to Intikab, sir.
Adjacent.
Wasim, sir. Yeah.
No, yeah, correct. But he's on the third floor, I guess.
Ah, okay. Maybe it changed. Yeah, Wasim sir, Intikab sir, and maybe Meladin. I mean, I'm listing the whole faculty, but yeah, you have to see your interest, and yeah, you have to also see like kind of PhDs working under them, because those are the people who you're gonna interact more with. So yeah, there have to be some nice people. I was lucky to have a good PhD senior. So yeah, you have to check it out yourself.
Okay, so I guess I hope Tuba that answered your question. Muazzam asks, Bhaiya, in my college, professor are not in research, so where should I go for my first opportunity? I mean, that's a tough question. I mean, actually, it's not. Maybe Faraz, you want to talk about
No,
how.
can you please repeat the question, Abbas
So,
bhai?
if in his college the professors are not doing research, so what should he do for his first opportunity for doing research?
Okay, so you should start cold emailing professors of some IITs, or you can even cold email professor or triple ITs. Like what I have noticed personally, I was working with a triple IT Delhi professor myself. So the key is that you find a professor that you are interested in, because I don't think you have any work at the moment to get it aligned with the professor's work. So you can just show the interest, and you can start cold emailing professors within India, obviously, different professors of different IITs and triple IT Delhis that you are very interested in working under them, and I'm quite sure that you will definitely get a positive response from at least one of them.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's the best choice that you have, that you'll have to go outside of university and call in professors. And I hope most of that answered your question. So, Farhan Khan asked, it's a long question. I'm in my first semester pursuing a bachelor's in electrical and computer engineering in Jamia itself, and here are my questions. So there are five questions. Maybe we go through them one by one because I guess they put thought into this question. So, how to work with faculties and approach professors, how to make them trust you. That's an interesting way to frame it. How to make your professors trust you, Faraz or Priyanshu.
Okay, Priyanshu bhai, do you want to take this?
I mean, just stay attentive in class, answer the questions, I would say, and after a week, maybe approach him. What are you working on?
I mean,
Then next week, like,
it's not a relationship, and you don't need to work too hard on it. You don't need to overdo it. You don't need to sound too cheesy. Just be authentic, honest, and genuine. If the professor is serious enough about research, and you are also serious enough about pursuing research under him, then he will eventually notice you. So just be attentive in his class, or after the class, try to ask some doubts, I would say. And the only key to get him trusted is to get in contact with him personally. So the way to do that is to start working under him through on a research project. Just go directly to the professor and say you're interested in his this work or this field. Then he will definitely assign you some work, because they usually have pending works, and they are very they feel they welcome like the students if they see the potential in them. And the key to an honesty and trust is that you do that work like very thoroughly and try to meet the deadlines. Don't try to like give excuses for the work, because everyone has their priorities. If you weren't able to finish the work, then it was obvious that you were prioritizing something else. So just don't make the professor feel that you have some other petty job that is more important than his research. So just try to work very honestly and try to meet the deadlines, try to meet the specific goals the professor assigned. So just get in contact with the professor and try to work under him.
Okay, so I think that's a good answer, I would say. And then to Muhammad Faraz, I guess he's asking for the question like, what were your research interests? I guess when you started.
Okay, my research basically, I started this research work in my fourth semester. To be honest, in the start of my fifth semester, I started to put thought about research in fourth, but I started in fifth semester in January 2023, I guess. So my interest was computer science, obviously, but I was looking for something which was unique, not generic. Like I didn't want to work on some general paper like prediction of a disease, and like I'm not like downgrading anyone's work. You can definitely do that, but since you are at the preliminary stages, so you have the option, you have the opportunity, so you can navigate. So I will like to request you to find a work that is unique. Like for myself, I started a work which was social media crowdsourcing in traffic congestion management. So it was intersection of computer science and transportation, which is a field under civil engineering. So you can like look for professors who are doing interdisciplinary works, and you can ask ChatGPT for ideas, because for these kind of things, LLMs offer very great ideas, I would say. You can just keep asking them. You can like give a very good prompt about your thoughts, about your interests to the LLM or ChatGPT, then they will definitely respond with many options that you might be interested. I would just recommend you to try to look for a field which is an intersection of two fields. Like it's hard to find professors who are working on those fields usually, but when you do, it's a very good hit ratio. So just try to work on something which works for the public good, because the universities in foreign appreciates your work if it's eventually for the benefit of the mass. So don't work on something generic, try to work on something which is practical and has real world applications.
All right. That was a good answer. And then the third question, when how to prepare for IELTS or TOEFL, maybe I can take this up. I would say uh, do this when you are closing in on your master's applications. I don't think you should worry about this too early. If I'm not wrong, IELTS has a time limit of 2 years that you can use that grade certificate for only 2 years after you've given it. So it doesn't make sense to take it early. So I would say probably in your fourth year is the best time before you start your applications to give your IELTS. And as far as preparations goes, it really depends on what background you're from. As for myself, like I literally prepared for it one night before the IELTS exam, which is I wouldn't recommend it, but I had given a mock test. I think the best way to prepare for IELTS is give an online free mock test and see what band you get. That will basically tell you how much preparation you have to put in. And for some, it might be very little, and for some, it might be quite a lot, depending on your high school education and how comfortable you are with English. And so, moving on to the fourth question, how do you get started with research? I think we've covered this quite a lot, like Faraz has talked a lot in detail to break it down of how do you get started with a research problem and how to approach professors. And then how do I align my program with my interests regarding the AI ML hype? Is it relevant to my program, or do I combine other stuff with it or leave it all together? That is interesting.
Okay, can I answer this, Abbas bhai?
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Okay, so first of all, I guess you are from electrical and computer engineering background, which is a quite fascinating and interesting field in itself. And it is a very good thing that your bachelor's is already in an interdisciplinary field. And there are many labs which are working on intersection of these fields, especially most of the labs in USA and Canada that I observed. They don't have a dedicated department for computer science or a dedicated department of electrical, and even if they do have dedicated department, then in 80% of the labs I've noticed that they have a department called electrical and computer engineering. In fact, the department that I was working in Canada during my MITEX internship, I was working under two departments, under two professors. It was one was electrical and computer engineering, and the other was civil, environmental and computer engineering. So it was intersection of these two things. So I would request you to focus on both the fields, since your bachelor's is in both the fields. So it would be a lot easier than then you need to focus on your current curriculum. You don't need to look like for another professors. Just focus on your current curriculum, focus on both the subjects, and just don't try to like follow the hype of AI/ML. Also try to integrate the electrical engineering aspect into computer engineering. Just try to take carry those two subjects together.
And just on that, one more thing I would add, like you're in like one of the best fields if, because of the lot of hype around NVIDIA and GPU development, with AI needing a lot more innovations on the hardware side. And I think electrical and computer engineering gives you the best training to work at both the intersection of machine learning and also the hardware aspect of machine learning. So I would really like say that you're at the best field and like, take your time exploring your interests, and you can, yeah, it's one of the best fields to be in, I would say right now, to get the best of both worlds. So, moving on to next question. So, Mariam asked about giving a detailed breakdown of financial aspect of applying to grad school, which includes the cost of English proficiencies, GREs, and the application cost. And basically, she's asking for a general budget of what would be the budget for applying and how it depends on different countries. Um, Maybe I guess maybe Priyanshu can share about the general budget that it took you to apply to Erasmus.
I'm sorry, let me read the question once again. Can you give a breakdown? Is this about the financial support one, right? Abbas?
Yeah, I guess she's
Okay.
just curious about applying to grad school, not I guess the
Okay.
financial during grad
Range.
school.
Okay, okay. All right, I understood. Applying, of course, it's based on university or the country. I mean, Germany, the university which have their own portal is generally free, like University of Stuttgart, etc. And for uni assist, I guess Abbas would can tell you about that. But yeah, UK, most of the public universities are free. Only the top, like Imperial or UCL London, they have application fee of around £90. And US, I guess it's a range around $100 for per universities. And yeah, GRE, IELTS, yeah, they are costly. I cannot do anything about it. APS is again very costly. So you have to separate some funds for that, good amount on that.
I guess
50
Faraz,
50K is a starting, I guess, if you're applying to US.
I see. Faraz, do you have your own breakdown? What?
Yeah, I do would like to add up on this. If you're just planning to apply and not to get a scholarship, first of all, there is no application fee for most of the scholarship programs. Sorry, like Erasmus or Charpak scholarship or EFL or the scholarships in Hungary or EIT programs. So most of the scholarship programs doesn't have any application fee. But if you want to apply outside of that, then for Germany, it would be, I guess, around. First, you have to give your IELTS, which is around 17,000 INR, I guess. Then you have to submit the EPS fee, which is again around 18,000. And then there is another additional fee for uni assist through which you apply to German portal, German universities, which is around the same cost, around 20,000, I guess. Then after that, most of the German universities, if you get selected, offer tuition free opportunities, but you have to manage your living expenses. So if you are living in Germany, first of all, it depends on the city where you are living in. Suppose you have a rent of 300 to 400 euros. Since I'm living in Barcelona, it's quite costly for me. It's around 600 euros a month. So if you are living in a, it depends on the city. Suppose if you're living in Braunschweig, in you're studying TU Braunschweig, the rent is around 400 to 450 euros, I guess, and you will spend around 150 to 200 on groceries and other activities at max. So 600 euros a month or 650 or 700 would be enough for to manage 1 month expenditure. And for USA, the GRE cost is around, I guess, 25,000 or 22,000, something around that. And most of the application fee are around $100, as Priyanshu bhai mentioned. And the tuition fee is quite high. Like the programs has semester-wise fee of around like an annual fee of 20 to $30,000 at least. So that whole 2 years masters fees requires around 60,000 US dollars, and additionally you need to manage your expenses there as well. And if you apply to scholarship programs, there is no application fee, but for other programs, there is a general application fee of around 100 USD, like almost everywhere.
Okay, I guess that covered a lot of ground there. All right. I hope that answered your question, Mariam. And to Fatima asked, I'm currently in third year BTech in chemical engineering from Aligarh, and I want to pursue masters abroad in biochemical. I do have slight experience with research and internship, so what should be my action plan, and what is the safe CGPA for the applications? Anybody who wants to take that up?
Okay, so there are many Erasmus programs. Even I encountered myself, which are related to chemical engineering. Like, in fact, they are more than computer science programs. I noticed when I was applying. So there are some programs that are in the intersection of chemical engineering and artificial intelligence, if I remember correctly. So if you can just show some background of AI as well, just as a complement to your chemical engineering work, obviously. because most of the students that apply to like chemistry masters are from BSc chemistry background or other bachelors, but chemical engineering obviously do have a edge on these other programs. So try to advertise your degree as well, that you have a degree from a reputed university. I guess you are from a recognized university. I'm an EMU alumni myself. I did my plus two from there. So I would ask you to advertise your degree and your professors, because as far as I know, there are some actual good professors in the chemical engineering, because my some friends did that from AMU. So try to advertise your degree, even your professors, that you worked under great minds uh, for this field. And you can definitely look for Erasmus, and there are many other master's opportunities for chemical engineering as well. If you scroll through LinkedIn, follow some relevant pages, there are many opportunities in the field of biochemistry and chemical engineering. And there are many good biochemistry professors in CAUS as well. One of my friend who did BSc biochemistry from AMU just completed his MS from CAUS in this field only, the chemical engineering. So you just need to find the professors that has the right alignment to your degree. And if you have one or two research papers, it will definitely be the best thing to your application.
Also, my program also has, I mean, I also have some colleagues in my program from chemistry background. So yeah, there's a track for nanochemistry and biochemistry and whatnot. So you can check out EMM Nano if you're interested in that.
Okay, so moving on to the, I guess, one of the last questions. Alicia had asked that I have noticed that Erasmus is often talked about in the context of science or technical fields. As a commerce student, I was wondering how beneficial is Erasmus Plus for students from business backgrounds? It's a very interesting question.
I mean, in Europe, you can have this like students from different countries. You can make a global network. Also, I'm sure that these Erasmus programs, business or like yeah, business related, have some internship opportunities or maybe some programs kind of. And yeah, you have your funding, you have a good global network, and um, I mean, you are in Europe, you have a nice exposure. What else you want? And there are, I guess, there are many business related programs. Like I know one EMBS, European Master Business Studies, I guess, and yeah, sustainability and all. There are many. You can check out the catalog.
Okay, I guess that's a good answer to that question. I guess Zed had a question, but maybe you can ask yourself, Zed, since we're nearing the end of the session, anyways.
Yeah, thank you. Priyanshu said that mostly do PhD afterwards after completing a master's. So my question is that they go for PhD in the same university, or then we have to apply for somewhere else? And also, what are the future options after master's? If, for example, you don't want to do PhD afterwards and you want to go into the industry itself. So, what are the options that you get from a particular यूनिवर्सिटी दैट यू आर गोइंग इनटू, मतलब मास्टर्स के बाद अगर आपको पीएचडी नहीं करनी तो इंडस्ट्री ऑप्शंस होते हैं या नहीं इंडस्ट्री में जाने के?
So, पहली बात तो like if you want to do PhD, I mean if you are doing your thesis in a lab in your university, 90% of the cases they would be if you worked good, they would be happy to like what do you say, extend your contract for a PhD or maybe in related project or whatnot. You can ask your professor, and yeah, you have a European master degree. I mean, you can apply to anywhere in Europe at least quite comfortably for a PhD, and they don't have to go this extra process of verification of your master's degree. Like they know you studied in Europe, your degree is good, education is good. So yeah, and then it would depend on your interview and after process. And for industry part, I mean, people go for jobs afterwards. It's not that unusual. Like not most of the people, but yeah, quite some number. And there are these. If you are in, like for example, the Dresden, this have this. It's called a like it's a Bangalore of Germany, I guess. So yeah, these universities also collab with different companies. Like here we have Infineon and yeah, so and so. So yeah, they also list some what do you say thesis project. you can apply to these companies thesis project, and later they can also uh, extend your contract, and they can offer you a job maybe. And yeah, I mean, it's not a placement kind of thing. Yeah, you can just, if you don't want to go for PhD, you just apply for a job, and yeah, get your interview. It's not so uncommon. I mean, not so, I mean, job market is difficult, but yeah, application applying is not difficult.
Also, I wanted to know that what are the options of coming back to India? Like, if you don't want to settle abroad and after completing your master's or PhD, you want to come back to India. So, is it that unusual that people go there and get
Options
stuck?
options are open. No, no, no. It's, you have Indian passport. You can go anytime. Yeah. Your options would be like Air India or what airlines you want to prefer. Yeah, I mean, you can go anytime.
Okay. I guess Mariam had asked a question which is very common that every new undergraduate goes through this, that the professors at Jamia ask students to write the LORs themselves and they just sign and upload it. This is, don't worry about it, Mariam. This is, I think every one of us, I'm not sure about Priyanshu, for us, we've all
Oh God.
done this. I don't think I have met a professor who's written an LOR for me, at least
Yeah,
in Jamia. And
yeah,
By the way, Abbas, I have met a professor.
oh,
If you
okay.
yeah,
Oh,
if
is that
you
safe, sir?
yeah, I know
Okay.
you then. Yeah.
I see.
yeah. You have to be narcissistic, heavily narcissistic
To write
for your
write a
LOI.
recommendation for you. Yeah. So I and also Martin will be surprised that this is actually not just a Jamia thing. I've come to Germany as well, and it's really that sometimes professors are super busy, so they ask you to write a draft. And at least in Germany, they've asked me to write a draft because I'm applying to PhDs, and they will make some changes, but I don't know if they're making changes because I can't see what they are going to, you know, put at the end. So this is not just a Jamia only thing. But I guess they will not, it won't be detected by admission committees unless you are not being too overly exaggerating your abilities in the LOR, that it feels like you've written it only for yourself. So there are very good techniques that maybe Faraz and maybe Faraz since steps are or for you, maybe Priyanshu, you can comment on like how do you prevent, or I guess Mariam has a question like, does AdComs run an AI check on such documents? That's interesting. I don't know about this. Maybe Priyanshu, Faraz, you can talk about like, okay, how do you write a
Just to
good
be
LOR
safe,
and how do you prevent AI
don't
check?
use. Just to be safe, don't use too much. I mean, you don't know if they use it or not. Yeah, just be safe.
Yeah, and I would say, yeah, it's just super difficult to say. Just don't explicitly just prompt ChatGPT and just copy paste it. I think there are AI detectors. I think just for a good rule of thumb, put your documents in there and see if it's like anything above 50%. I would say it's a huge red flag. If you can make sure that it's as little as possible, it's better. But like if you can get it below 50%, 40%, I think now with better and better language models becoming super difficult to know whether uh, something is AI generated or not. So it's like a arms race
Just
that you can never be sure.
just spend good time on your LOR and SOP. Like people on YouTube or online would say, like you have to apply early for Erasmus. That's not the case. Just take your time. You have till the deadline. You can apply. Just make sure your application is like top notch.
And just to add a detail about, like, since Arisha also asked, how do you write a good LOR by yourself? Like, a good LOR usually comes from the perspective, of course, it's from the perspective of the professor, where the professor can actually comment on the challenges that you went through yourself and how you overcame them with the professor's help. I think if you personalize that aspect of your LOR, those are usually quite good. I think just a professor appreciating you is probably not enough. For I think from the advice that I've got, that the admission committees appreciate that the professor talks about how you work through problems, like what challenges you faced and how did you, overcame them. So they want to see the human aspect, and hopefully, if the professor talks about that, I know it is you talking about yourself, but be realistic about what the professor can know about you. So, there are ways to make sure that the LOR is realistic and you are not including details that a professor can never know about you. So, you can think from that perspective. And I guess that covers the questions in the comment box. I know
Yeah,
Zed
I want to
raised his.
add one thing,
Yeah,
Bhargavi,
sure,
about
Faraz.
this LOR
Yeah.
thing. First of all, if you're drafting your LOR yourself, then just don't focus on your abilities and skills. Also, try to focus and try to put the reader's attention on your relationship with the professor. Like you are writing from a professor's POV. So first, like you should mention, like in my LOR. It started with like that I have been a research supervisor and an instructor for Faraz for 2.5 years now. I have been his course instructor in this subject. Like it builds the trust that the professor knows you. So a guy who knows you personally is writing a letter for you. So it grabs the attention of the reader and try to mention personal incidents or events. Like I was very close to Saif sir and Mushir sir, under whom I worked and whose LOR I mostly applied. So I try to talk them out about what they think about me to before drafting the LOR. I also did that myself, the drafting of LOR part. So one thing that was mentioned in my Mushir sir's paper was that uh, uh, in my second year, he assigned me a task to write a conference level paper on a subject we worked on. The results were good, so he asked me to write a paper. But when I framed the paper, he was actually impressed that he asked me that we are not submitting this for conference. We will be going for a journal, and it eventually got accepted into a journal. So that thing I mentioned in the paper, in the LOR, that I first assigned the task of writing a conference paper of our such and such research to Faraz, but I was so impressed about the way he wrote the paper that we eventually converted it into a journal paper because these qualities, the research paper writing and these personal attributes also matter to the evaluation committee, and try to mention all other personal incidents that professor might know about you. Like in my Safsar Salwar, he since he wrote the letter himself, he mentioned many things that we presented. Faraz presented our paper in Triple IT Delhi at CSIR at DTU, and he got awarded many accolades and many other achievements. And they also mentioned about my MyTex internship, that he did an internship in Canada and such was his result. And so just try to mention personal incidents which you had encountered with your professor, like challenges or anything personal that will make your LOR genuine or authentic. Like most of the people's like just go for the generic one, like it has been a pleasure to teach Mariam. I'm very glad that I have this opportunity to teach her. She was a very good student. She's honest. Just try to provide references and like a reason, a validation for every statement you write, because since you're drafting your LOR yourself, so you should be able to attach uh, verification, because what professors usually write, they write with like they authenticate their statement one after the other. So you should write in a way that he's a very good student, as you can see is from his research, and he has got already this many research papers under his name, and he's very studious as he did his MyTex internship in Canada and such. He's a good speaker, as you can see that he has been a delegate here. Just like that, try to authenticate or validate if you are writing it yourself. Okay, Abbas, bhai, I think that's it. If you're in the meet.
Oh, sorry. I thought I was speaking there. Okay, my mic was on mute.
Oh,
Uh,
okay, okay.
Sorry. So I guess we are getting towards the end of the session. I guess Alicia had some more questions about what we can do more specific about SOPs, and I guess Faraz had covered this in detail. Or if you want some specific tips that you might have that might help someone stand out.
Yeah, Arisha, can you unmute and can you like ask your specific question that what do you exactly want to know about?
Uh, First of all, hi everyone, and thank you so much for sharing all of these tips. They were really insightful. But as unfortunately I joined a bit late, I would like to know that SOPs are I believe that SOPs are like the major things that only make you stand out. So, how would you what tips would you give so that it really makes an impact to the admission recruiter and everyone?
Yes, it actually has a great impact on your application. Sometimes your SOP can be a deal maker or a deal breaker as well, because I have seen most of the students who had like lower CGPA, like 8.2 or 7.8, or in fact lower than 8, then the SOP was the real reason that got them selected. If you are asking about the evaluation criteria, that most of the programs that I observed had an evaluation criteria of something like this, like 40 to 50% for your academic courses on your grades, like how much there is the alignment of the subjects and your grades, obviously. 10 to 15% about your university's ranking, your university's global ranking, and like 10 to 15% for your SOP, 10 to 15% for your LORs, and then they reserve 10 to 15% for interview if they have that in their program. So most of the programs I encountered, I tried to look through their evaluation criteria, and SOP was like 15 to 20% is at max. But what I personally feel that it's more than that. It's more than 20%. I mean, they might be grading your application based on these things, but I think the final call is made after they read your these documents, because I think these criteria are to shortlist your application like from a greater pool of students, like from a lot of students. Then when they narrow it down, that if they want to know you personally, then I think SOP is the only correct way to do that. If you are asking about how to draft it, Priyanshu Bhai has talked about it, and we'll be uploading this session later on YouTube. I think you can just look for the SOP tips from there.
Yeah, and if you want the link to the PPT, I can. Is it? Can I send it on the chat box, or you want to share it later?
I guess you can even put it on the WhatsApp group right now if you want.
Okay. Just did it.
And I would, I guess the link is here, but I would recommend the link for the WhatsApp group is already in the group chat and the Google Meet chat. And it's there. I remember you raised your hand up in between for a brief while and then you put it down. If you have any final question for the session, you can ask that and we conclude the meet then.
Yeah, I wanted to ask that uh, specifically to go into the industry, like अभी जामिया में companies आ नहीं रही हैं, and uh, like Zia Semiconductor is the only company that visits Jamia. Priyanshu, bhai, you know that. So, preparing for masters, like it's always a better option than to go in any other company which has a bond of 4 years. But if you have a goal of joining an industry onwards, so how much that masters thing will help you? Because I have heard in most of the cases that the industry experience is more relevant than doing a master's degree. So, what's your take on this?
I mean, end of the day, masters. If you're doing masters here, you can apply for internship, and if you have some relevant experience here, you can apply to jobs pretty much every corner of the world. Is what I believe. It's not that easy, I would say. Yes, because I have no idea about Indian job market. It's difficult to get a job. People are doing these courses from outside, and then they help them to get a job and whatnot. But people, if you try enough, you can. I mean, you can crack the system. You can. I mean, study, do some internship, and apply for jobs. Like, just not be completely dependent on the placement. And yeah, NVIDIA, STM have these exams, and you have to, I guess, Texas Instrument also have an exam which you just clear, and then they go for interview and whatnot. So yeah, it's pretty hectic, but yeah, there's no other way around it.
Okay. I would say, Junaid, maybe you can conclude the recording of the session. And I guess this has been helpful for everyone. And we've covered a lot of ground today. And so, yeah, I think if you have any further questions, I guess you can directly direct them to Faraz and Priyanshu if they're okay with getting those questions. I think the contact would be in the WhatsApp group in the Global Research Internship event. Still, for the people that are still here, if you want to share your LinkedIn profiles or anything
Okay, I will just
there,
drop
or
my LinkedIn profile in the chat box. But
it
okay,
might be
I
better
will.
that you guys also share it on the group itself, like when you share your
Okay,
PPT. I think that might be better because people have left already. So
Yeah, sure.
just to like for them to connect with you. But yeah, I think that's been a good session, and it's good that we were able to do it within 2 hours. So yeah, if we don't have any further questions, I would say we can end the meet now.